10 years ago, the seeds of a dream were planted in the hearts and minds of a group of people. We were united by one passion, the nurturing of children who would go on to become exemplary leaders in Nigeria and the world. Working together, we created a happy, thriving community known as the Imperial Gate School. Now, this is the story of our beautiful small world. How it all began.
Imperial Gate School started as a school that was conceived over the years. While the founder was working with me, we were working together, she nursed this idea of doing something much more than what we were doing.
Everything started with Bolanle Olubumi and her vision to build an incredible school. I was one of those she came to talk to about investing in the project and also to give guidance and counsel in terms of building the business. And obviously a number of us then decided to invest in her because she was an outstanding teacher and a good administrator, and she was very committed to her trade.
My mother had a deep passion for education and believed that it is the cornerstone and foundation of a wholesome individual. This belief birthed the vision that is now the Imperial Gate School. The journey started long before 2007. An idea was formed, built up, reworked and remolded over several years. What used to be random ideas discussed over dinner became a business plan and ultimately a school. She took the plunge in 2007 to create a beautiful small world where every child is important and supported to achieve their full potential.
I know how passionate she was about education, and I also know the impact she had. She wasn't a classroom teacher, but even my children were, they were impacted by her, and the children just loved her. So when she mentioned it, we gave her all the support we could and all the encouragements.
Our first day.
On the 17th of September 2007, the school started for the first time.
It was a wonderful experience. We had some few children and some staff. We had fun. It was just a day of fun.
Aderewa Bondefaye Owokwe was the first child to register. This is what she has to say. IGS, my IGS. I would never forget my first day at the Imperial Gate School. I did not know what to expect or how to feel. I attended Corona Primary School, Ikoyi, till I decided to leave in support of one of my favorite persons till date, late Mrs. Bolanle Olubumi. As she set up her own school, I can confidently say I made a brilliant decision. Agnes Akalifu, a nursery supervisor, says, "The fondest memory for me that day was seeing the expressions on the faces of the parents of my children that morning while they left their children in the hands of a new teacher. At the end of the day, I was satisfied with how well I worked on my first day in IGS." In the words of Jones Wilmer, the school janitor, it was only 3 children that started school that day and few teachers. There was not much work. I was expecting that more children would resume after that day. I was very anxious. My fondest memory was how I was welcomed by Mrs. Olubumi, how she talked to me and gave me hope of a better tomorrow. Mrs. Ariola says, "It was awesome, though we were few, but you could see the structure on ground. The environment was inviting, the teachers were ready to deliver, and the classrooms were so educative and inviting. I was anxious to see the first set of pupils to teach and ecstatic to deliver as much as I could to impact on them." Mrs. Ogwamanam tells us of her fondest memory on that day. "Even though I thoroughly enjoyed the morning assembly, I believe my fondest memory was during my first numeracy lesson. I was teaching writing numbers in words. We started with mental drills, moved into teaching the concepts of breaking up the numbers into their families, and finally writing the numerals in words. We got so busy and I lost track of the time. Then suddenly, one of my pupils exclaimed that his sugar level had dropped. It was hilarious. We all had a big laugh. Although we had a great beginning, there were hurdles we faced along the way."
When I joined, I managed everything about teaching and learning while she went out for approval process and every other thing that has to do with the school progress. She did that until 2010 when she passed on.
Everything she had, she put towards trying to get that school off the ground. It's unimaginable that all she had of that experience was 2 years for a vision that she birthed. And I guess for the rest of us who were not educationists and who didn't even think about setting up a school until she came to us with the idea, when she died, was really to make the consideration to continue to just sell off the asset as it was. You know, but looking at the children who had become a part of our community and the parents who had trusted us with their children and all of that. And we reached out to them, we were very upfront about the fact that we're willing to do the work to move the school forward.
It was like starting all over when we visited the Ministry of Education again. But after everything, we were able to satisfy the Ministry of Education, and in 2011, the school was approved.